Welcome, woo, too loud, low ego action heroes. I'm Debbie Levitt from Delta CX. We are a full service CX and UX consultancy, and I will eventually get my microphone levels right. I had them turned up for, because Zoom is real quiet, I don't know why. And hey, it's Friday. This is the Practicing Critical Thinking stream, and we only got 3 things, so I think it's going to be a short one. And I am trying to log in. There we go. I've got my special effects going. How's everybody doing? It is summer here. I don't know about you. All right. So before we jump in, let's, of course, thank everybody who is donating to the YouTube channel through memberships. It's totally optional, but always appreciated. And so thanks to all of the low ego action heroes helping us out financially, which I reinvest in my streaming software and chocolate chips. And thanks to Steph. Happy Friday to you as well. I am having a hot cup of tea because I've been coughing and I think I could have bronchitis. I don't know. It's definitely messing with my singing, which is why my show started late. Alrighty, so let's jump in. We only had 3 things, so I can't imagine we'll talk about 3 things for more than 30 minutes, right? Okay, let's try it. And don't forget, if you would like to join in the fun here, you can join in at deltacx.com/links. You can send something in for the Critical Thinking stream, which happens every Friday, and I will happily dissect it into oh so many pieces. Hello, Manuel, friend of the show. I'm also having a bit of a fun day because I bought a new used phone. And you know what? I would like to normalize buying used phones. I got a good deal on last year's phone. Darren! Oh, happy to see Darren. All right, we've only got 3 things today, but they are long and juicy. So let's go there. Let me press all the buttons on the new phone. I hope that worked. Yes? No? All right, looks like it's working. So you've got me, the chat room, the optional tip jar, and my browser in private formation. Friend of the show, Hong, who is increasingly fantastic and really making a name for himself out there on the LinkedIn. And we'll have him on the show on Thursday, so be there. He, of course, is a genius and hilarious, so he did UI UX Research Challenge, Best Interaction. Which UX is better? Help me pick one. All feedback is welcome. He got over 1,000 hearts and likes and 805 comments. And obviously, this is hilarious. These are great. And I think that a lot of people took him quite seriously and tried to give him like honest feedback, like, hey, these really aren't good, or they're both kind of bad, or whatever. So, you know, oops, get to know Hong. So I don't think there's too much I can say about this. He's a genius. Follow him on LinkedIn. We'll get to meet him on the show on Thursday. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay. Next we had a LinkedIn post from Jeff Humble. I'm hot and cold on him. Sometimes you all send me things of his that I like, and you've sent a few things that I didn't like, so I never really know what I'm going to get from him. But let's take a look at this one. I don't remember seeing it, but I wasn't looking at LinkedIn very much on my vacation, and let me tell you, I didn't miss it. All right. Jeff says, Chiwat is here. Thanks to Chiwat for the sunblock recommendation. I've ordered it. Question. My designer says that we have placeholder text for text field of a form. We must maintain consistency and have it for every field, no matter how long the form. I disagree. What would you do? What do you do? What do you think? Well, I don't know. What do you think? What would Jesus do? No, Darren, what do you do? But I would say and I think placeholder text is a little controversial because I think it's not always, well, I guess, what do you mean by placeholder? Do you mean a hint where when people type it goes away? Or do you mean it stays there because it's the start of an answer? I would say I usually don't put stuff that's in the start of the answer unless I'm sure that's going to be their answer. I try not to use too much hint text because I'm not sure if it's accessible. I need to study up a little bit more on hint text and accessibility. So, but I would say, enter email. Yeah, I would definitely not. I would only use that where we really have to. And typically I'm putting that outside of the field next to the label or under the label, because if it's that important an instruction, it should be there so that the screen reader will read it. So you're talking about hint text. No, I don't think we have to put hint text everywhere. I think it ends up looking insulting if it's an email address and you write enter your email. I think we've made fun of those in the past. So I would disagree with your designer, and you're welcome to send them this video, even though it's not office hours. Okay, back to Jeff's post. UX strategy is terribly defined. Okay, so I'm not too sure where this is going. That's a very broad statement. I'm not sure. Let's see. Here are the top three. Yep, Darren says a label should suffice, plus the ability to hover. I wouldn't hover on a help icon because that's not accessible because of people who don't have a mouse. So look out. Here are the top three terrible definitions that I see. It's at the intersection of design and business strategy. Okay, but saying something is at the intersection isn't a definition. It's a cop-out. What's at the intersection exactly? It's a plan of actions to reach a desired future state over time. Okay, but isn't that just a fancy way to say a plan to reach a goal? A strategy may contain a plan, but it's more than setting a vision and pulling milestones out of thin air. A detailed plan for keeping a user's experience in line with company goals and objectives. Oh, that sounds really bad. Company goals. Okay, but strategy, thank you, Darren. But strategy isn't only alignment. It's good to align upwards, but that's only the starting point with UX strategy. Here's how he defines it. A UX strategy is a mix of policy and coherent action designed to overcome a business problem with experience design. Not sure I agree. That's probably why you sent it. He says, a good UX strategy is built on research and a deep understanding of user problems and business challenges. I can agree there. A good UX strategy should be the product of co-creation that aligns upward, and stakeholders should vet every piece of the strategy. That to me is too vague. What do you mean by co-creation? Because there's good co-creation and there's terrible co-creation that make us want to leave our jobs. Darren says, maybe you can make it better as a political move, not classy. Down here where he says, that's my version. Can you make it better? I see that more as the, I don't see it as political. I see it as the fostering engagement, like when people end a post with, do you agree? To me, it's just the prompt to create engagement. So I that's all I take it as. So I think co-creation is too vague because there's good and bad versions of that. Yes, we have to look upward, but also downward. And stakeholders are vetting the UX strategy. Which stakeholders? Or do we get to vet their strategy? Do we get to vet engineering strategy? So I'm not sure I agree with that one. Hey, Elliot. A good UX strategy should leverage a part of the user experience that the design team has agency over and can take action on. Again, not too sure what's happening here. I'm not too sure why the design team only has influence on a part of the user experience. I would really hope that we have influence over a lot of it. That's part of what's wrong with our jobs. So I'm not too sure about this. So ultimately, you know what I'm going to roll out. Is this meaningful, actionable, and helpful? I'm not too sure. I feel like it's an argument he had with himself in the shower and decided to post it. Didn't see any of the comments, but ultimately, I feel like we're not really left with a good sense of what a UX strategy is. And I think a UX strategy can be so many things in so many ways, and it's not just one thing. It's how the departments work. It's how the teams work. It's how teams work with each other. It's how we approach a project. It's what we've learned from research that tells us what we're going to work on next. There's so many things in a strategy. It goes beyond the typical business definitions of it's our vision and it'll align with stakeholders. Darren says, politically correct and promoting faux inclusion. Faux. I'm bad with French. I feel ya. So I'm going to move past this one because ultimately it didn't really grab me. I don't think it grabbed a lot of people. We've got 12 comments, so it doesn't look like it did that well in the algorithm. But yeah, I'm not feeling it. Hi, Udipta. Maybe Darren can give us his definition of UX strategy. You know, I think everyone will have slightly different definitions depending upon where you work and what part of the organization you're in. But I think it's a lot more than what he has here, but also some things that I disagree with. All right. Let's go to Gianluca Mauro, who posted this a few days ago. And I think this is worth the conversation. I hadn't seen this post, but it is interesting. He says, yesterday, Apple held a 1.5 keynote. How many companies or industries did it kill? For example, buy now, pay later service providers like Klarna and Affirm. Apple introduced Apple Pay Later, which will allow consumers to split payments into 4 installments on every website that accepts Apple Pay. So let's dive into that a moment before we read the rest of this. Steph says, what do we want everyone to validate everything UX related from strategy to research to wireframes? I agree. I keep telling people, why are you giving up UX's power and then trying to evangelize to get it back? We're doing this to ourselves. Oh, thank you, Udipta. Udipta said my meaningful, actionable, helpful graphic was still up. I can't see it because I just see I don't see the overlay. I'm just looking at my screen. I'll have to take a picture and show you. Okay, so basically what he's saying with his first point is that if Apple Pay has its own buy now, pay later service, and you're using Apple Pay, then why would you need a Klarna or an Affirm? Now, I don't use Apple Pay. I'm all Android. But of course, if Google Pay introduces this, then here you go. It's available to everybody using Google Pay as well. So does it kill Klarna? Does it kill Affirm? I think it definitely has the power to weaken these services because now this is built into Apple Pay. Darren says +1 Steph. So any thoughts on that? Anybody have a thought on that while I finish my tea? Which is actually just cough medicine and hot water. The cough medicine here is dark honey and some sort of leaf. Darren says, Klarna is nice, but it has a clunky user experience overall. Yeah. And I think we'll know what's going on with those because you'll check their stock price and you'll see if they're having layoffs, and that will give you the answer of what's happening with these companies. Stephanie says, same for PayPal. I don't think it killed those. There will always be overlaps and business evolves. Yeah, right. There's still PayPal, even though we have Apple Pay and Google Pay, and even Amazon had their own payment system that no one talks about anymore. So let's take a look at his next point. Webcam companies like Logitech. Apple introduced continuity camera that allows using your iPhone as a camera for your Mac. Well, that's actually been around for years, though not everybody knows, at least on the Android side. I think NDI makes a $20 app you can buy in the App Store, at least on the Android side, and it will turn your phone into your webcam. Right? Do they still do that? NDI phone webcam. Here you go. So this is a thing, and it's already available for Apple and Google Play. I think it's a $20 app, and I didn't try it yet because it had some meh reviews. I was hoping they would improve it a little bit, but I'll probably try it at some point. So does Apple kill Logitech? Probably not, especially because like in a setup where I have here, am I going to want my phone to be up there on my computer screen? And I'm down here and I can't touch my phone and access it. I think there's still going to be people who want a camera separate from their phone. And of course, many laptops have cameras built in, and we still have companies making external cameras. So I don't think that's going to necessarily kill it. Darren says, it's a large landscape. Affirm, Afterpay, Apple Pay, PayPay, Bread, whatever. Yeah. Totally true. Okay, password manager. With Apple Passkeys, you'll be able to sign onto websites using Face ID without requiring a password. Now, I think that passwords were headed towards the scrap heap anyway because of WCAG 2.3. Anybody? PayPal, but PayPay was great. WCAG 2.3 passwords. There was something here that I heard about. Was it 2.3? Sorry, let me put this in English. I think someone said that 2.3 was going to kill passwords. Logitech will kill itself if they don't improve their quality. Also true. I'd have to look that up. I'm a little unprepared today, but I think there was something coming in WCAG where they were basically saying a lot about passwords are not accessible and people are going to have to use magic links and codes and other things instead. Not so sure. And of course, we've had, I'm not going to stop using a password manager. It's great to find that password and know that it's out there, at least not out there for me, not for the public. Steph says, shall I tell that guy that W3C has an API for that? So Chrome, Firefox, and all the browsers implementing WebAuth API killing passwords? Nah. Right, exactly. Login with Google didn't kill passwords. My LastPass or your NordPass subscription didn't kill passwords. And man, my boyfriend's got an Apple phone with Face ID. It feels like it's so slow. I don't know if any of you use iPhones and feel like Face ID is slow. Again, I'm Samsung. I'm all Samsung and Android, so I don't do the face thing. I do the fingerprint thing, which is really fast on a Samsung phone. But yeah, wow. I don't know. Not feeling it. You know, again, I think this will help some people who are deep into the Appleverse, but half the world is not in the Appleverse. So, you know, this isn't for everybody. Steph says, this is starting to look like clickbait. Surfing on the Apple keynotes. Always possible. How did he do in the algorithm? Ooh, very well. 8,670 reactions and 1,000 comments. Ooh. And he only had he only had hashtag Apple, yeah, so pretty good. Chihuat says, Apple is great at presentations. Everything they present seems revolutionary, even if it's already been done by other companies. I've said that many times. I can't tell you how many times Apple comes out with something that I've had in my Samsung phone for 2-3 years, and then they're like, we innovated this. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Not even close. Half the world is sitting here right now going, no, we have that. Now he's saying collaboration tools like Mural and Miro because Apple has Freeform, a digital whiteboard software free on all Apple devices and services. Again, if someone sends me an Apple Freeform link or invitation, I might be toast because I'm on Android and Windows. Does that mean I can't get to it? I don't have an Apple ID. I don't want to make one. I'm going to keep using Miro. So, no, I mean, Google came out with Jamboard, was it? Nobody adopted it. Zoom just came out with their own whiteboard. I don't know if anybody's adopting it. I think Mural and Miro are pretty solid where they are, and I'm not too sure how many people are going to switch to Apple Freeform. Okay, medicine reminder apps, since Apple will now allow you to track medications on Apple Health. Oh, I don't even know if my Google Health allows me to do that. But I don't know. Again, there's still half the world not using Apple stuff for phones. So there's still half the world that's your target audience for medicine reminder apps. Apple is executing its vision of controlling our digital life like a metronome, taking no prisoners. I think I'll favor using their products rather than competitors. I'll throw my Logitech camera and close my Miro account. I would love to check in with this guy later on and see if he does that because, again, I love having my phone right here next to me, especially since I'm controlling the show with it. So if it's my camera up here, I can't control my show with it. Or you're going to keep 2 phones, one to control the show and one to be the camera. What? I've got 2 because I upgraded today. I don't get it. I think that this is someone getting caught up in the excitement of the Apple presentations and keynotes and is not really thinking out those real use cases and real scenarios of use. That's just my opinion on that. I think that there's still, and remember, there's still half a world that's not using Apple stuff. Steph says, based on how Apple messed up with some health tracking apps, forgetting that part of the population tracks periods, I wouldn't trust them with medical stuff either. Also a good point. There's lots of questions here, and I think Steph is making a really good point. So let's give Steph the credit here. Credit to Steph, because what this person's really saying is, hey, look, Apple said they're going to come out with a thing, and I just know it's going to be better. And that's how I know that that person has really bought into the Apple marketing, because despite Apple's antenna gate and battery recalls and terrible iTunes and Steph talking about Apple Health, despite the things we know that Apple messes up, this guy is just sure that all of these new things they do are going to be perfect and better than what's already out there. We don't know. We don't know. We can't predict that. Is he going to throw his Logitech camera away? He can throw his Logitech camera away right now and download NDI's tool. I mean, who knows this stuff better than NDI? I mean, this is what they do. So they're the experts. Maybe Apple will buy them. So yeah, you can do that already. You can throw away your Logitech right now if you'd like. Random Italian guy. Steph says, I am an Apple user. To be clear, I love a lot of things from them, but critical thinking. Yeah, totally. And I love my Samsung phones and my Android phones. And if you said Samsung was coming out with XYZ tomorrow, I'd still be skeptical. I would say, I want to see it. I want to make sure it's better, because Google Jamboard wasn't better than Miro. It didn't take off. Google Duo, I think, is about to be deprecated or combined with something else. Just because somebody comes out with something doesn't mean they've done a better job. I haven't looked at Zoom's whiteboard. So that's a couple of things on our mind, but that's actually all we got for the reaction stream. So let's go back to, here's my setup. I hope you're enjoying it. Go back to a giant me. And just thank everybody for joining. Let's talk about what's coming up on next week on the show. And it looks like Monday is going to be Office Hours Ask Us Anything with me and Dr. Nick. So remember, that's going to be Monday instead of Tuesday, because Tuesday I'm speaking at the HubSpot B2B Tech Marketer Group. I'm going to be doing my marketing talk. Darren says, Google makes a lot of terrible products. It's true. There's a lot I like about Google, but holy cats. It's weird. People always talk about Apple, this, that, and the other thing. I have to tell you, one of the greatest things I've ever bought, here it is my Surface Pro. And yes, it has a giant Delta CX sticker on it. My Surface Pro. And I have a Surface Pro 3, which I bought, how many years ago, y'all? 7, 8? And I bought the Surface Pro 3 the week the Surface Pro 4 was coming out, because I'm cheap like that. And I love this thing. It's still fast, it's still light, it's still efficient. It's a great piece of equipment, hashtag not sponsored. So I think it's great. And I just got my new phone today. I got last year's Samsung. Again, being cheap. I put a Delta CX sticker on it, y'all. And no, you can't get them online. They're all at my house. So if you want some Delta CX stickers, please write to me and I'll have to mail them to you. But, oh no, Darren says, was that an I Love Jared sticker? You bad. You bad. So bad. I'll smack you with this fly swatter. Get out of here. No. Definitely not an I Love Jared sticker. Hello, Charlene. We're just wrapping up. It was a very short critical thinking stream. I only got 3 things. So talking about next week's shows, again, No Show Tuesday, come hear me at the HubSpot B2B Tech Marketers User Group. Wednesday, we're going to be doing an article I wrote before my vacation about if you're going to do a UX boot camp, some advice I have for you, because there are a lot of people who go ahead and do one, even though I recommend against them, and that's fine, but I have some advice for you, and the advice is not don't do it. The advice is if you're going to do it, here's how to pick the right one. Thursday the 16th, we're going to have Hung on our show. I'm so excited to meet him. Chihuat says, best part of WDC 2022 was Craig Federighi. I don't know who that is. Slow-mo running. Well, if that was the best part of something, that sounds silly. I thought I'd pick with Debbie. I miss everybody. Yeah, well, we miss you too. Hi, Daniel. And then, of course, Critical Thinking next Friday the 17th. After that, the week of Monday the 20th looks like we're pretty much back to old fun stuff. We're going to go back to the Think Out Loud on Monday the 20th. We're in the middle of that new one for the Florida bar exam. Tuesday the 21st, we're going to do office hours with a special guest, but he hasn't accepted the invite. So I'm going to go poke him, just writing on my thing here. We invited Seth Mbele to do office hours on Tuesday the 21st. I got to meet him and work with him last year, and I'm just a fan. He drops by here sometimes. I'm doing a show every day the week of the 20th to make up for vacation time. Wednesday the 22nd, we're going to have Jan on, a different Jan from last time. Jan W. is going to talk about service design. And man, he knows his stuff. Thursday the 23rd, I'm going to read my article about UX research without a hypothesis and doing UX research when we don't have an idea or a product yet. And of course, Friday the 24th, critical thinking. All right. So, and what's this? Portfolio review. Yes, people are putting portfolio reviews in my calendar. It's that time of year. Everyone says, get me out of this crappy job. All right. Darren says he misses us, but Darren's going to be back in August. So I know I'm not reading out August shows yet, but you can always check our calendar, which is at deltacx.com/links. You can check the show calendar, which I update as we go. And Darren will be here twice in early August. He's going to talk about UX education, and then he will be back with me and Dr. Nick for a Three Musketeers show in August. So yay, thank you, Darren. All right, and of course, as always, please subscribe and please find 3 people to tell about the Delta CX channel. I am looking to keep growing organically, and for that, I need your help. I need you to get out there and tell people about the Delta CX channel and how they can be involved. So with that, if there's no other thoughts or comments, I guess I will play us out of here. Excuse me. And hope that this lung thing clears up soon. Messing with my singing. Makes me grumpy. Whew. All right. Well, I miss all of you too. I'm happy to be back. Yeah, Udiptus is waiting for the Three Musketeers to be back. Yeah, I had Sophie do a show and she's so great, but then I've just figured, I'll just do the other shows with Dr. Nick. You can't replace Darren. You just can't. Alrighty. So everybody be well. Have a good weekend. Follow the rules. Unless they're about UX and Agile. But I'm going to get out of here and keep setting up my new phone and relax so that I can work all weekend. Catch everybody soon. Be well. Bye. Customer centricity as business intelligence. Visit deltacx.com to learn why we are